Oh, no, I don't like that. No, something fell on him. That's not the same as falling.
I misunderstood.
I hope that missed his head.
No, I don't like that. I like
that is a skull fracture.
Something fell on him. I don't want something to fall on somebody.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children.
You can become a Lord today, EstablishedTitles.com, and also help woodland conservation efforts at the same time. So how does it work? Well, in Scotland, landowners have long been referred to as lairds, the Scottish term for lord, and all you need is at least 1 square foot of land to be a lord. So established titles, lordship, and ladyship title packs are based on this historic land ownership custom. They plant a tree for every order and offer title packs with plots ranging from 1 square foot to 10 square feet in Huntly, Scotland, so that you can make anyone, including yourself, a lord or lady today. Packs start as low as $49.95 and come with personalized certificate. It's a beautiful certificate, unique plot number, plot dedicated land on private estate in Scottish Highlands that you can go visit anytime. I've got my lordship plaque, and my kids were like, what have you done now? You've got land in Scotland? Yes, I do. So, Established Titles is currently offering a buy one, get one free for their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. Our listeners can go to establishedtitles.com/Black Friday and get a lordship title and have another title for free. Again, that is Established Titles, one word, establishedtitles.com/Black Friday to become a lord today. Hey everybody, welcome to Dr. After Dark. Don't forget the emails at drafterdark@gmail.com, and of course those voice messages. We love those voicemails, 818-253-1693. It is my distinct privilege to welcome into the Rational Revolution the one and only LeeAnn Kreischer.
Yay!
Yay indeed. Yay indeed. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you.
The fact is, let me pull the curtain back. Mr. Tom is getting a colonoscopy today. So
he is?
Christina, can I talk about this?
Yeah.
All right. So Tom is going to get his colonoscopy. I don't want to use any.
His muffler looked at.
Yeah, get his muffler looked at. And Christina P felt she had to be there. And by the way, how big a pussy is he that she has to be there? I get a colonoscopy every year, and my wife's like, "When are you doing that again? Can you take Uber in? I don't want to get up that morning."
Yeah, I think my pussy at my house would be twice as big. Bert Kreischer, no way.
I've recommended that to him too. Have I not? A colonoscopy?
Yeah.
Mr. Segura and Mr. Kreischer should have done it together.
Maybe they could have held hands during the procedure.
Yeah, that would have been a whole.
Yeah.
New
2 bears, 1 procedure.
Yeah, or two caves, 2 bears.
Something.
Just saying. So whatever. But your husband is starting to behave himself a tiny bit. He is allowing you to go pick up the CPAP machine I've ordered. Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Monumental.
So he's going to wear it.
I hope so. You know what? Someone, a fan, heard our podcast, Ask Dr. Drew. And
did he ever show my house call? Did he ever put that up anywhere?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to ask him. But a fan emailed me and said, he should just start wearing that mask when he's watching TV.
To get used to it.
Desensitizes him so he can actually fall asleep with it. I was like, that's really great. So every once in a while, I turn the corner and he's got a mask on in the house.
Oh, good. That's a big deal. So he's worrying about himself. That's good.
He is. And I started working out with a trainer last
December.
You
look great, by the way. You've lost some weight, right, since you were last in here?
I lost 20 pounds.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, but my trainer has he has 2 theories about pain in your body. That most pain is related to dehydration or posture problem, not injury pain, obviously. But he's just adamant about drinking and drinking and drinking water. Bert Kreischer, as everyone knows, drinks
all kinds of things.
Kool-Aid. Water is Kool-Aid for him. So I was like, maybe just take the Kool-Aid out and try drinking water. So he drank a gallon of water 2 days in a row, and he had a knee that was bothering that stopped. His blood pressure went down, and he was like, I think it may be the water. Really?
Well, we'll see.
Super
We'll see. Well, it's usually not as simple as just so, but that's good. Let him believe it. That's fine.
Exactly.
Keep drinking the fluids. I'm all good with that. But we do worry about Mr. Kreischer.
Yes.
We do.
I worry about
you
Mr.
do
Kreischer.
too.
Yes, I do.
And he is losing weight right now too. He's on a juice plan.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
Nope.
Does the same Kool-Aid consumption, other than the last 2 days, seem to be about routine?
This is day 3 of water.
What do you think that is? What do you think it is about the Kool-Aid? What is he like stuck in some developmental something? It's yummy food, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of self-soothing mechanism.
Yeah. I think he is in an arrested development in a lot of places.
Tell us.
And he's about 9 in a lot of places. Food is one of them.
Food.
He has a very he has 2 sides to his food.
So a bipolar food
Yeah, he's
relationship.
bipolar. Exactly. One is he likes really good food, like
fine dining,
really good food, and he loves to figure out how to make really good food. He's an excellent cook.
That could really kind of affect how he feeds himself.
It
if he really
does.
did that all the time.
If he did that all the time,
Yeah.
and if he did it in a thought of lean protein greens, how do I elevate that? That would be awesome. But he also really likes junk food, like any fast food. Any chip, any soda.
Pizza's the main culprit, right?
Pizza's the main culprit.
Yeah.
Pizza's bad.
I've seen some of the footage on the trailer on the van, where he
In the bus?
the bus, yeah.
To watch him, the bad thing, I go to sleep. I try to go to bed before he does because he snores. So if I can beat him asleep, I can actually sleep. So I'll usually go to bed earlier than he does. But at some point, a lot of nights, I hear him walk into the kitchen, open the fridge, open the microwave, and I'm like, he's eating up pizza, and I don't buy pizza. So I am not an enabler
Is he
in the
sleep
pizza department.
eating? Maybe is he even awake?
He's not asleep.
He's
no,
awake.
No,
He's
he's
going for
awake.
the pizza.
Yes, and I'll peek around the corner, and he can put an entire slice of pizza minus the crust in his mouth in one bite. So he's not even tasting it. It's like he's mainlining it through his mouth. And he does cover it with ranch.
Oh.
So
Wow.
as if there's not enough fat.
It sounds weirdly infantile, like, sort of consuming everything all at
Yeah.
once, like
Yeah,
soothing
yeah.
something. Oh, poor Bert.
I know.
He is suffering.
Now, LeeAnn, can I actually ask you a question?
Yeah.
Bert said that he really only loses control with food when he drinks, and when he doesn't, then he's pretty good. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Nadav, it depends how you define pretty good.
No,
Right.
he is an ebber and flower, right? He gets in these patterns where he does fabulous.
Right.
For a long stretch where it will fool the person living with him into thinking, oh, wow, we're really, this is awesome. We've conquered this beast. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, we go right back to pizza every day. And I'm like, what happened, dude? Have pizza on Friday.
How does he frame it? What does he think's happening?
I'm just out of control.
So it's the anxiety again,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Interesting. So I'm just curious. When you were on my streaming show, we started talking about sexuality, and somehow we got into like amputees or something. Do you remember that conversation?
No, I don't.
And
I block out half of what
I
he
think
says.
he was saying that it would be great because you couldn't get away from him or something like that. I remember
sounds right.
some sort of conversation like that. But is he as equally as compulsive and bipolar sexually? Or is that a pretty steady?
No, I think that's something we worked on.
What does that mean?
Like when we were first married,
Yeah.
when we first had kids, he was like, "TikTok lady, it's been 2 weeks," and I'm like, "Dude, I get 6 weeks off." And he was.
So you're cruel. You're cruel.
I was yes.
Yeah, you're cruel.
I
Okay,
was.
yeah.
I'm a denier
Uh-huh.
of what he needs. It's how he needs
Well, you
to
don't
feel
understand.
connected.
But being a man is pretty rough. So I'm just saying. But yes,
I
being
couldn't
being a
relate.
mom is rougher.
Well,
So,
I mean, we can't relate.
no, well, not only that, it comes a time that a man has to suck it up, and it's right around childbearing time.
Yeah, it's right around
That
there,
when the
yeah.
guys just got to suck it up.
Yeah, that's when I get an absolute free pass.
But I
right?
do remember 2 weeks being the time after which my frustration levels would start to go crazy.
Yeah,
And
same
so
with
that's
him.
probably all men. That's not unique to Bert, so good for him.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think it's unique to Bert.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of negotiating of like, we're not always on the same page.
Right.
And that's okay. Like I am sleeping 4 hours a night because I'm breastfeeding and I'm
The
so
child
sorry.
rearing, everything's off the table.
Yes.
It's survival mode for everybody. at
That's
that point,
right. So in that time period, we had a lot of discussions about our sex drive because they were so off
Well,
from each other.
God shuts women down to make sure they don't have babies on top of each other.
Totally.
Because everybody would die then, right? If nature hadn't done for this. So that's a feature of nature, is to shut women down, especially if you're breastfeeding. Were you breastfeeding too?
Yes.
Yeah. So that lengthens the whole thing and shuts it down even more.
And I breastfed for a year for both kids.
Yeah.
So he was very frustrated during that time period. But the good thing is we've always had a really good communication in our marriage. That's probably one of the best parts of our marriage, is that we're able to say, I don't like this, and help me figure this out.
Well, and as I've gotten to know you guys, it kind of reminds me of our relationship too, because I think he's really, really, really into you. He really, really, really digs you.
Yes.
And you admire parts of him, aspects of him, a lot. You really admire parts of him.
Yes.
And that keeps you both in the game all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. And I forget your stories on your own parents. His parents, did they divorce?
No.
Yeah, his
together.
parents stayed together.
Yes.
And your parents?
I have 7 divorces between the two.
But wasn't there a long-term in there somewhere that you were connected with, a stepfather or
I had
something?
a stepmom.
Stepmom.
I was really connected to. Still, I'm very close to.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to have a model, a script to fall back on is really important too, because then you don't think of divorce, or you just think in terms of just getting through. You just think of always solving, getting through this. And
when I figured out I was in love with him,
when you figured that out, how long did that take to figure?
It took about a year.
How to figure that out?
Well,
it took Bert about 3 minutes, just so you know. But okay, it took you a year. Good.
But he didn't admit it for a long time. But after I was like, no, this is actually like, I think this is it.
I believe it was the marshmallow and the bear. That's what it all came
for
to.
him. Yes.
Oh, it was for him?
Yeah. That was pretty early.
He was in before that. So anyway,
he was in from the beginning.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, I was like, I think I need to go to therapy. Like, I don't have a role model for this. I don't know how to argue. It's my mother's personality disorder.
You've mentioned repeatedly how much good therapy did for you. How much it worked.
Amazing.
It's interesting when therapy is really important for me, and when you get a good therapist or a good fit with a therapist, it's uncanny how much good it can do in your life.
It's like a shortcut in some way, I think.
I'm listening. For me, it was just like I was open to doing things in a way I couldn't have done otherwise without therapy.
That's true. I agree with that.
Because I couldn't. I was a perfectionist. I couldn't delegate. I was compulsive. I was responsible for everything, and I couldn't let anybody else be responsible for things. And
this sounds like me.
You had some of that stuff. I remember we talked about it before,
yes.
And just being able to sort of be connected with another person helps you let go of that stuff. So
it does. And for me to have living with Bert, to have someone I could go, have a very measured, mature conversation with Bert, because I can't ever go, you're a fucking asshole to him.
What?
And nor would I wouldn't want to talk to my husband that way. But I do go to my therapist and go, he's a fucking asshole.
Right.
And here is why.
Right.
And get it off my chest. And then it's easier to manage.
I think women use therapists more that way than men.
Probably.
Yeah, it's interesting that more of frustrations and aggressive feelings that they don't really want to unload on somebody. They'll unload it in the therapist's office.
I don't think it's fair to unload it on him. I don't think it's fair. Now, obviously, if there's something that listen, when we got married, I had to make an agreement with myself that I knew what I was getting into. I didn't think I was marrying Dr. Drew.
Right,
I knew I was marrying someone who was inconsistent and a little off, and that interests me. That keeps me interested.
Yes.
So that is a full purse of items, and some items in that purse I need to work on with someone else because I don't want him to change those items.
Yes, I understand.
Right?
This may not make sense to a lot of people, but I totally understand what you're talking about.
Good.
Because I think you would find a super healthy, quiet person, very boring.
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it.
No.
And some of it is because you had a lot of action growing up.
I did.
A lot of stuff going on.
That's right.
And this is a really healthy way, frankly, to play that out.
I think that's right.
This is actually a big topic. You all listen here. is that we don't talk enough about, we don't think about, and there's no help books about this or anything about attractions. Sorry, Nadav, this isn't so funny, but I think this is important.
No, hey, this is fine.
But attractions, where they come from, and when you not overly gratifying them, because you can get addicted, if you've got some pathology back there, and the attractions become compulsive reenactments. But there's a middle ground where you can still satisfy the attractions in ways that are fun but at the same time nourishing and not too pathological.
Right.
There's a zone there that kind of makes life worth living in a weird way, right?
It makes it always interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And you're always growing.
Right, and you wouldn't say, there's a healthy person for LeeAnn. I wouldn't, if we were lining everybody up, I wouldn't go, well, there's one for you. But the attraction piece is so renewing and important and satisfying that it really keeps people in. And we don't teach people how to listen to that, how to assess when it's excessive and when it's kind of okay to go with. It's hard. It is. It's a hard navigation. So
it is.
I'm signing off.
Thank you.
Completely signing off on these guys. But
18 years later, hopefully.
but I did want to know about Bert and Quicksand porn. He's into Quicksand porn?
He was telling me about this after our episode. I didn't remember the amputee part, but the Quicksand porn. I am not into porn. I never have been.
You don't like porn, okay.
It's not that I don't like it. I just watch it and go.
Doesn't do anything for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that doesn't, okay. But he is, and he always has been. That's fine. I don't really care.
Normal.
I said this with I always call her Push, with Christina. He can watch Fast and Furious. It doesn't mean he's going to, Tokyo Drift to Gelson's.
You call Christina Push?
I do. I have 3 Christinas, and I call them all by their last name. And Pushinsky is Push.
Okay, Push.
So I have a Push and a Pierce and a Rumbly.
Got it. Push.
Because I can't keep them all straight.
I like that. But his porn thing will help you during those dry spells where you need to be breastfeeding and things like that. So it's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I am not threatened by that.
But Quicksand?
Quicksand porn, he said, was the first time he stumbled on quicksand porn when he was young.
I must tell you, I've never heard of it till this moment.
No, nor I. And how does one stumble on something in 1984? There's no internet. How do you stumble on? Yeah.
I think he was just watching Gilligan's Island and Ginger got stuck in a quicksand pit or something.
That may be
I think that's what happened, because in the 70s, quicksand was
everywhere.
We all were convinced we were going to die in a quicksand pit.
It was
Everybody.
Sherwood Schwartz's main thing.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yes.
And then there's quicksand.
Yeah, it was a way of twisting every story.
It was.
And so I see. So he saw Marianne in the quicksand, and that
somebody
got him,
and the
like
boobs touched the quicksand, and the boobs were bouncing on the quicksand.
I get
and
it.
Suddenly the heavens opened, and
I get it. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you something. This is another thing people don't talk about. There's something about the 12 to 15-year-old male, maybe the sweet spot being 14, that when they're exposed to certain images, they become preferences.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why certain ones become preferences, but there's this window, and that's when everything gets set. And then the cement just dries at 15.
The quicksand dries up.
It's just on after that.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because he was really into Gilligan's Island, and he really liked Marianne. Hello, I am not Ginger.
I think I can get in touch with Dawn Wells, and I'm gonna see if we can get her to come do it.
Right?
Nadav, we've got to work on this. She's around.
Yeah, we'll try and make it happen.
She's around. I had her on Loveline back in the day.
I bet that's where quicksand porn came from. Marianne instead of Ginger.
Yeah,
because he's definitely not into Ginger.
Yeah, I get it.
No.
You're like a better Marianne.
Oh,
You're
well.
Yeah. So I get that. But that's so funny. Oh, here we go. We're going to see Gilligan's Island. Quicksand, sinking feeling, Gilligan's Island. That's not Marianne. That's Marianne. There's Marianne with Ginger, which they were always weirdly side by side like that. What did Marianne told me an interesting story about she and Mrs. Howell. See in the
yes,
red?
I love Miss Howell.
Her name is Holloway, right? Oh, they're quicksand. Look at them in the night.
Yep, they're in the quicksand.
Oh my God. That's it. That's probably the episode. Oh my God.
You nailed it.
What is it about that? But anyway, what's her name? Natalie Holloway, I think her real name.
I think that's right, yeah.
Dawn Wells was telling me that she had been on the show like 2 weeks. And she and Natalie were having hot dogs at Pink's. And they noticed that all of a sudden, there's those little sort of windows up a little high at Pink's. People were gathering around the window by dozens and dozens, and sort of big commotion, looking in at them. And Dawn said, Natalie had this huge film career. She was a movie star, essentially. And she goes, Dawn goes, you have this great movie career, and no one ever did that for you before. But now we are cartoon characters on some crazy television show, and people go nuts. So weird, right?
Yeah.
And Corolla and I talk about this a lot, how the cartooning of public figures is a problem.
Yeah.
Because then you can treat them like shit and not think about it.
Right.
Everybody's just sort of a cartoon character.
Yes.
Yeah, it started in the 70s. The great decade of the 70s. So also dilated pore removal, navel stones. There's things going on with Bert medically. Navel stones?
What is a navel stone?
I guess she doesn't know about this, Nadav. Maybe you can tell her about what's going on in
He
her
doesn't
house.
have a dilated pore. He wants one.
Yeah. No, he's obsessed with dilated pore removals.
Yes.
You mean like a
navel
punch
stone removals.
biopsy of it?
Yeah.
Like a punch biopsy of a dilated pore.
Uh-huh. And any kind of pimple that can be popped.
Well, that's kind of a thing.
It
And then
always
what is it
been
about
that.
navel stones? Because it's just gross. They're like pop pimples essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same lane.
Oh, here we go. Pulling one out. He just likes gross things.
Yeah, he loves
essentially.
he loves looking at that. Oh my hours.
Does he
he's
watch
fine.
the Pimple Popper?
Oh, Dr. Pimple Popper, yeah.
Yeah, that's his
and
thing.
My feet are killing
Why
me.
didn't he come see Josh's surgery? He would have loved that.
I don't know.
It would have been like.
Was he here? He may have been at a drive-in.
Yeah, he may have been out
he may
on
have
the
been
road.
out.
But Nadav, come on. Next time we have to. I guess there's an update on the Josh's posterior navel.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's gotten insurance yet, or gotten the surgery.
He doesn't
yet,
have
so
insurance?
Don't even start me. You think Bert's a problem?
Bert does have insurance.
Yeah, I know.
I
he
make
does.
sure he
I
does.
know. And to be fair, he has a wife. I don't think he
I was
would
going
have
to say,
it without
Josh
it.
needs a Marianne.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So we think we're basically saying that Bert's sort of getting better, right?
He is
He's
getting
kinda
better.
getting better,
You know,
yeah.
I have to tell you something. Being in quarantine was probably one of the best things that happened to him. The first time, from March to June, when he was home, he got super even. You know, being on the road, diet is erratic,
Yeah,
working
yeah.
out is erratic, sleep is erratic.
Yeah, it's not very much structure. He needs structure, so that's a good sign.
He
We
does.
know he needs structure. So
But he fights against it.
Right.
I watch shows about people with mental illness and I go, that's interesting. He doesn't want parameters, but he thrives in them.
Yes.
That describes Bert to a T.
Right.
He
And
will
so-
fight any parameter I put on him.
Right. So we have a name for that. I'm essentially overusing this term, but it fits somewhat. It's called anosognosia.
What?
Anosognosia is a lack of insight. In other words, he can't see what is happening to him and what he needs to get better. And
That's
so
interesting.
He fights it.
But he has great hindsight.
Yeah.
He has great. That's partly true. But like if we have an argument in the moment, that argument is I just have to go, well, you think whatever you're going to think. We'll talk about this when you calm down.
Yeah.
When he calms down, he can have insight about his feelings in that moment. But in
Yeah.
the moment, he can't do it.
Yes, and but I'm really thinking about the kind of structure and interventions he needs to deal with his
Health.
his mental illness.
Yeah.
The people with those kinds of conditions don't see what they need and fight against it. It's why
That is
why
true.
we have homeless people,
That is true.
because they don't want to go inside.
Bert is kind of
And-
like a homeless person. He showers in the pool.
I'm going to defend him there. He is not that seriously mentally ill.
No,
he's
of
got
course
sort of
not.
run-of-the-mill
Of course
mental
not.
illness, sort of novelty mental illness.
He dabbles.
Yes,
He
yes.
dabbles. Yes.
But it's the same phenomenon, just it's worse when people end up in the streets.
How do you treat that?
Well, we have to have laws to allow. It's the reason we have homelessness is people like me are prevented from intervening and
Really?
and helping them with their anosognosia. We're told you can't go near them.
Why?
Okay, that's what they want to do, man. They want to live their life. They're
For
living
their civil rights?
They're living their best life, man. Who are you to say? I am the one to say. I've dealt
Yeah.
with thousands of these people. And, I know,
Yeah.
and trust me, when they get better, they are furious with people that get in the way of their care.
Really?
Oh, of course. They're not happy. They're just doing what their
No.
illness dictates.
Right.
And when you get them back where they need to be and treatment and vocational rehab and all that stuff, they thrive. They do great. They do great. But you
So
have to
what is
treat
the
them.
problem? What?
Hey, man, who are you to say? Who are you, man? We literally take families up to Sacramento and they go, please, I've got money. I've got a doctor. I've got a bed for him. Help me get my loved one home. Fuck you, get out of here, is what they get from the state. It's bad.
Wow,
It's
that's
ideology.
terrible.
And now 4 are dying every day on our streets in California in the name of what? That's what I keep asking. In the name of what?
Freedom, they think? Or they're saying?
They are murderers.
Wow.
Humbly. In the name of some ideology that is not fitting with the human experience. So
Is that national or is that just in
it's
California?
especially in California, but it is somewhat national. Yeah, there are some national. We made multiple errors along the way in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they just are stuck now. And the laws that allow people to get help. And I'm not saying force people into treatment. I'm saying
No.
motivate them into treatment. There are ways to. There's sticks and carrots you can use to get people into treatment. I've done it for years.
Sure.
Just got to let us do it.
Sure.
And now it's so bad. If I'm psychotic and I'm rolling up my stool and lining it up on the sidewalk, and somebody comes to clean it up, and I go, "Hey man, that's mine," you're not allowed to touch it.
Wow.
That's how bad it is now. So anyway, let's watch some videos. Let's cleanse our palate with a little bit of TikTok. Quicksand porn. Oh, queens above 18. Do you know this guy?
No. I may have seen him before.
Well, let's take a look at it for a second.
Good morning, my queens above 18. I got a little problem with the webpage. So if you need to order any items or any merchandise, you can go right to my Kings and Queens above 18 webpage. And is A-N-D, no spaces. And you let me know what you need, what size, and how many. The shirts are $25 plus shipping and handling. The cups are $20 plus shipping and handling. And the hats are $20 plus shipping and handling. Then go to my Venmo account and add the money, and I will ship it out to you.
So enough. Oh, is there more? Is there a payoff at the end, or is it more of the same?
There's never a payoff.
Yeah, right.
Guy.
So he is an evil genius. He has discovered that there's a lot of needy people out there that love this affirmations that he gives them, and now he's actually extracting cash from them at the same time. And what's going on in the ceiling there, Nadav, in his truck? He's a truck driver.
Yeah, I believe the top of his truck is molding a bit.
It's caving in, right? That's what I see.
Oh, the liner's dropping.
The liner's dropping.
Fluid that maybe isn't sitting well in the
this is an unusual attire for him, right? He's not normally sort of so queened out himself.
Yeah, this is actually the most fashion forward I think.
But what does he talk about? What is his affirmation?
Can you give her a sort of routine
I could
one?
fill you in. So what he likes to do is
I'm scared.
talk to only his queens above 18.
Now, at some point, he clearly got into under 18, and that got him into
trouble.
some trouble. Yeah.
Okay.
So he wants to only talk queens above 18 now. But I noticed that this one was I got a little interpretation of this
It's on
one.
a real big merch push, it feels like.
Well, it's a merch push, but I noticed in the name of merch, it's kings and queens above 18, and he's sort of
Diversifying?
He's queened out himself a little bit.
I
here,
see. So
right?
you're saying that he realized that he's left money on the table.
He has left half the population out, and there are a lot of men out there that are also queens above 18 that are actually kings above 18 that need a little affirmation themselves and might want to buy some merch.
But what is the affirmation? Like,
well, you going to
chewing gum's good for you? I mean, what's he say?
It's a have a great day. You're lovely. You're great.
And that he really enjoyed the video of your boobs that he sent him.
He doesn't say it quite that explicitly, but thank you for all your, the affirmations you send me. And
keep them coming.
You keep them coming. I thought you didn't understand men. You seem to understand how they work.
I pretty much do.
So yeah, he's like that. So all right, give me another one, another TikTok. Oh.
Everybody's all like, Joe Biden's now our president.
Yeah.
Man, Joe Biden ain't our president yet. We got lawsuits. Trump's got lawsuits. Everybody's like, Trump 2020. Fuck that. Trump for life.
Oh my God.
I've gotten a few people have shared with me some of the Trump lawsuit votes have been the election was stolen from us group.
Yeah.
I really think they're hysterical. They're really good. They are harmless. They're kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
They're harmless and they are funny as hell.
They're baseless, right?
They're not, and they're sort of. We need a new word for the women, particularly because they're not Karens. They're more like Shannons or something. it's like a little more feminine and a little more outraged and a little more sort of I don't know. There's something about them that just cracks my shit up.
I have stayed totally off that.
I'm just tired of all of it. Thank you. I'm sort of staying out of it too. I've been tired for a while with it, I'm glad to. I'm glad to see us get through it. That's all. I want us all to get through this. Let's get through it. But I hope these guys will be okay because he looks like a very nice gentleman. Give me one more. Oh my gosh.
Oh Lordy.
I suppose if I talk like this and I move to Australia, nobody would recognize that don't really talk like this. It's fucking trippy.
It is trippy, dude. What's behind him? Nadav, what is that? Is that pot? That weed?
It looks like a cabinet filled with a bunch of loose papers and mail that he hasn't gotten.
That or just sacks of weed, I think. That's what it looks like to me.
Like up here, you're saying?
Yeah. Something.
I don't know, but his pillow's not super clean.
No, nothing looks very clean about this guy. Interesting how his face is so translucent white compared to the rest of him, which is
Are those oil stains on his chest?
Oh, bless his little heart.
I think that's just hair, like really.
That's a lot of hair on that body.
Bless his heart. Let's leave it at that.
Bless his heart. Yeah.
So let me take some emails, then we'll do some voice messages. My name is Steve. I'm 31. 3 years ago, I realized that I was born with hypospadias. You want to show me hypospadias so we can get LeeAnn on page with this?
What is that?
Hypospadias is a urethra that does not go to the tip of the penis.
Oh.
And it's one of the more common midline
But then
errors.
what
See,
happens?
Look, there it goes out the bottom there like that. Look it on the right. See the whole.
What? It goes out down there?
Well, see the on the lower left-hand corner there, all those different dots.
Yep.
It can occur anywhere along that midline structure.
Oh my God! Bless his heart too.
Midline errors of development are very common, right? Like cleft palates, right? Well, this is the genitalia version of that, essentially.
Interesting.
But this is a very minor one and easily repaired, though people would walk around with that in history without able to get that repaired, right? Because we didn't have the operations, but now we do. They can be coronal or midshaft or periscrotal, and they can be even scrotal. They come right out the scrotum.
Wow.
And sometimes it's a partial hypospadias, like it's a little piece of one kind of leaks a little urine, like a little drop when they're peeing. And sometimes that's as far as the urethra goes.
The things you learn on this show, man.
Okay, there you go.
Oh my God.
If let's see, hypospadias being genetically inherited, kind of. If ever a son will be opened up under the head like mine, or possibly worse. Also, at the end of the show, you mentioned midline errors. This is a midline error of metabolism. Viva la revolution. Yes, thank you for that. Viva la rational revolution.
Drew.
Yes, sir.
Now, is this something that you could plug up with like a piercing or something?
It'd have to be sealed.
Nadab, I would like you to continue to use that mind only for good. Do you understand me? Only for good.
I mean, that looks like a tradition.
It looks like a Prince Albert. It does, but you got to remember there's no urethra at the tip. And Prince Albert goes through the urethra and then out the base there. Right. But I'm imagining you could do something like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's very interesting.
Add a little form to that function?
Yeah.
A little rubber O-ring around the outside.
No, thank you, but okay. Just you wanted to talk about the last 2 years, my asshole has been mostly a cool guy, but suffers from what I can only describe as chronic itchiness. It's got a fancy name called pruritus ani. He didn't know that. I've researched what it could be in typical diagnosis or pinworms or candida. I can tell you I've done the tape test for the pinworms.
Oh my God.
That is?
Yes, I do.
Have you done it for your kids?
I remember having it done to me.
Yeah. You put a little piece of tape on around the ani at bedtime and you wake up and the worms are sitting there.
Yep.
Pruritus ani. There we go. That should be maybe an ancillary sort of campaign from the Rational Revolution. Anyway, I have taken fluconazole. I would imagine when I consume larger than normal amounts of sugar, the itchiness maybe gets worse. Oh man, dude. You need to, he says, piss on me, beat me, Garth. I miss Robert Paul Champagne, by the way. I've not seen much of him lately. Do you have anything from him lately, Nadav?
No, I don't think. I think since YMH Live 2.
Yeah.
We've been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I miss him. But here's the deal. Anus itching is actually sort of more hemorrhoid stuff, and usually cortisone cream takes care of it. And you need somebody to look back there and see structurally what's going on. There can also be fissures and fistulae and things like that. So do not make I would say very low probability at your age of pinworm, very low probability of candida. And as you've seen, you've been treated for it, didn't work. Have somebody who really knows what they're doing take a look at it, please. Well, if you've always wanted straighter teeth and a better smile, stop putting it off. Thanks to Candid, straightening your teeth is simpler and easier and more comfortable than ever. Candid clear aligners are comfortable, removable, and practically invisible. That's, of course, unlike wire braces. So you can transform your smile without anyone even noticing. And if you're concerned, just take them out. Plus, your treatment is prescribed and monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who is an expert in tooth movement. And it's pretty serious expertise. So this is a key issue. And it's all done from the comfort and convenience of your own home. Candid only works with orthodontists, never general dentists like some of the other companies. Plus, your supervising orthodontist will be with you every step of the way. With Candid, your treatment includes remote monitoring by the same orthodontist who created your plans, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. You'll always know. It's great. Now, the average Candid treatment is just 6 months, and you'll start seeing results way before then. It costs thousands less than braces. So start straightening your teeth today. Right now, all my listeners can save $75 on Candid's starter kit. Go to candidco.com/Dr. Drew and use code Dr. Drew. That is CANDIDCO, candidco.com/DRDRW, code Dr. Drew. Take advantage of this limited time offer to save $75 off your starter kit. candidco.com/Dr. Drew, code Dr. Drew. Let's do a sissy update.
Uh-oh. Who's a sissy?
I'm glad you asked, LeeAnn.
Am I married to him?
No.
I would hope
I
not.
don't know if this was a trick.
He likes Quicksand and Marianne. That ain't no sissy business.
So the Sissy of Fremont is a cool guy that we've had, that we've been a fan of on YMH, and this is one of the original ones.
Hi. I'm looking for a white lady that's tattooed and dominant and be willing to put me in a dress and beat the shit out of me.
Oh, my God.
Tommy, I'm the Sissy of Fremont Street.
What?
Why have you been hiding this from me? Why?
You've never seen this?
I've never seen Sissy. Do you understand? You understand what happens to me when I see the sissies of the world,
Yeah,
right?
you get upset.
No, I get upset when I see people dying on the videos that Tom loves.
Oh, we got
upsets me.
that in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
batch too.
What? When I see the sissies, I immediately want to make a home visit. Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately think, I must know more. I must understand what this is.
find
This is a very unique, it's how I ended up in Robert Paul Champagne's apartment.
Yeah.
Fremont. Sissy Gemini. Again, you stupid white bitch. That's what I'm looking for, is a stupid tattooed white bitch that'll put me in a dress and beat the shit out of me.
Doesn't this,
22.
whoa, what was that?
Wait,
That was his address
I
and
see.
phone number.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't he intrigue you as much, at least as Norman, where you want to go, like, what does he do during the day? No, LeeAnn's turn. That does not take it. I see. I'm interested in the human experience. And so when we
Yeah.
get human exotica going, I'm like, what is that? How did that happen? What are they doing? How do they live their life? What the hell?
So this was the video that we found, like, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, maybe
You've
4.
hidden it from me.
Well, it's just been such a while. So
Angry
that's
with
why,
you.
there's a Sissy update,
Yeah,
seeing
well, give
what
me
he's
the
up
old.
to.
Can you give? Oh, this is the old one that we just saw.
Yeah, this is the original.
All right,
This
let's
is
see
the
the
Sissy
update.
that we fell in
Oh,
love with.
So happy.
So this is what he's up to these days.
Boom, 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 boom. Hey, if there's any white bitch out there, you gotta be white, because I don't like any other color, because I'm white. I'm a Gemini sissy with a little itty bitty 2-incher. Yeah, just let me know where you are. I won't let you know where I am, but if you give me your number, reply with your number, and I might get back to you, and we can meet, and, then we can come over to my dumpy pad. It's in the middle of the Fremont shithole. And you can give me a nice hand job on my itty bitty 2-incher. And I'll probably buy you a beer and a pack of smokes. So if you're a white, nice brunette girl, hey, give me a holler.
Bless his heart.
Still want to
God
hang out
love
with him,
him.
Drew?
No, I kind of didn't. I suddenly got a little bit like maybe I shouldn't make a visit.
But clearly he hasn't found this white woman he's looking for.
Well,
he's been looking for it for years.
Well, maybe those 3 years have been full of busyness. Who knows?
Maybe
It's been a little
lots
3
of
years since
bitches
last.
with tattoos that beat men up and dress them in dresses. I don't know.
So actually, there's something really interesting here, Drew, and I'm wondering if you have any insight on it.
Go ahead.
So it sounds like he wants to be dominated,
Yes,
right?
and wear a dress.
And wear a dress. You're right.
And
he
small,
wants a
and small penis. His
right.
whole thing, yeah.
Right. He's got that, and
Maybe, or at least he wants
So
to
he
be,
says.
Yeah,
Right.
he wants to be told he has a small penis. Yeah.
But then he starts calling this, potential suitor, whatever you want to call this woman that he's looking for,
a bitch.
a white dumb bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like he's
Well, usually when it's much like
he's being the aggressor and the aggressed. Like he wants both worlds,
Well, he may not be healthy to start with.
what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
how
think he
dare
may be,
you.
yeah. Maybe
Don't
not
you know
so
what
healthy.
this show is about? So here's the deal. I can't believe I'm having this conversation, but here we go. So Nadav, when somebody's homicidal, suicidal is not far off. You understand? When you're asking for violence against yourself, being violent is right around the corner. Do you understand? Now you may have a preference for being dominated,
Right.
but there's there's shit going on both directions usually.
Right. So the moral of the story is he's just into violence. It doesn't matter if he's giving it or taking it.
The moral of the story is he's clearly very balanced.
Balanced dude.
He's balanced.
Yes. And I know you know balance.
Yes.
And so, no, what I'm thinking is if you're going to dominate this guy, you better purely, fully dominate
Bring
this
a
dude,
baseball bat.
because shit may come back at you. That's all I'm saying. So I tell you, I draw the line at crazy, whacked out noises in the back of your throat. That's sort of where my...
A tick. It's like a tick, right?
Not so much.
No, what's that about, Drew? Because seems like a recent development. In all the videos that we've seen of him, that throat noise is new.
I agree, and I'm wondering if cool guys are going that direction. Maybe it's a new cool guy trend. You think?
To develop a tick?
To swallow weird?
Just sort of making weird noises. You see if this doesn't become a trend. You see if cool guys everywhere don't begin to sort of have stuff like this. It feels like something that we may see more of. It's all I'm saying. Watch. I don't know why I'm even saying. I'm thinking we may see more of it. If you look for it, I bet it's there. Let's hear a voicemail.
Hey, Dr. Drew. Hey, mommies. Love the show. A quick question. My mother, she's 58 now. Mm-hmm. She keeps getting Baker's cysts behind her knee, in the back of her knee.
Really? Is this ortho line?
Having to drain it.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you would happen to have any advice to help her. She can't really drive very well.
58 with that kind of problem.
It cramps up on her while driving.
Okay. So a Baker's cyst is a synovial cyst that forms behind the knee.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign of bad arthritis. I mean, knee replacement is probably what she needs, and that will probably take care of it. If it's that bad, they can also remove the Baker's cyst. They can go in there and take it out. But it sounds like she's got more stuff going on, because if she has a Baker's cyst at 58, I'm wondering what
she's got a bad knee.
I'm betting she's obese and really has to her knee is under a lot of stress all the time. So you look up a Baker's cyst for me? All right, Nadav, you're on it, man. It's not that interesting. There's a Baker's cyst. See it on the upper left. That's a good one. There you are. That's it. That's a Baker's cyst right there. And they
probably hurts.
They do hurt. They do hurt. They can hurt anyway, and they rupture and drain, and when they drain, your whole leg can hurt. So, and by the way, can be mistaken for a deep venous thrombosis because the whole leg swells up with that. There's your medical training for the day, everybody. So if you're thinking of a differential of a swollen calf, there you go. I want another voice message, please.
Hey, mommy. Just curious about a relationship issue. I find that whenever I'm dating somebody, I tend to lose interest, even though I've really wanted to be with them. And then once I'm with them, I have a tendency to want to cheat on them. I've currently met somebody who is poly, and things are going a little bit differently. However, I'm still feeling the same way that I felt in the past, where I'm not sure how to deal with the desire to cheat. Now, with her, I can tell her, but I still want to lie to her because I just have a tendency of lying in my life. Stems to childhood, yes, trauma, Drew. But I'm trying to figure out a way to get past this. If you have any suggestions of something I can do, I'd really appreciate it. So, thanks, mommy.
Okay.
Piss on me, beat me, and you better know I'm coming up in May.
So
it sounds like he gets a thrill from being deceptive, right? Sneaky.
He does.
Yeah.
He can't trust people because of all that trauma.
Right.
And he has an intimacy disorder. Once the intimacy starts to develop, he must sabotage and run.
Got it.
And you need a lot of trauma-informed care, honey. If you really want to ever have a relationship, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you. And if you do have a relationship with somebody, that person's probably going to be abandoning and abusive because you can't have closeness and tolerate that yet. You've been injured by all that childhood trauma. So here we go. I'm a 29-year-old woman. I've been recently experimenting with microdosing psilocybin. This is called Shroomgasm Follow-Up. Heard your latest episode. Christine and I were talking about this, I think. Lady Jane's who had multiple spontaneous orgasms after eating magic mushrooms. I can confirm that this is a thing. I recently leveled up my dosing and had quite an experience. I had multiple bouts of spontaneous full-body orgasms. Truly something else. I often can also spontaneously orgasm on my own, but to a lesser degree. Blah, blah, blah. This happens on a daily basis. And I can happen repeatedly many times throughout the day. However, I'm able to control it with willpower. What's going on here? Am I some kind of weirdo or just a cool lady? Piss on me, BD. You better believe I'm coming up in May. So,
oh, my God.
So can we play the Coming Up in May video? Is that possible? So we can bring everyone up to speed on that in case there's anybody out of the loop.
I'm out of the loop. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's Let me look for it.
Okay. This actually worries me when people get shit like this because their brain is changing so much that their autonomic nervous system is misfiring where they're getting persistent sexual arousal, which is called, but there's such a thing as, well, we've seen we had a man out here that killed himself because he was having orgasms all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so
that's an autonomic system problem?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And there are some women can orgasm very, 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 very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will have 20, 30 orgasms in a single sexual encounter. They can sit on a cold floor and have an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she is. Mm-hmm. And the psilocybin has set it off even more. And what's interesting about this to me is that whenever I bring this phenomenon up, other women go, well, she's lying.
No, I know somebody who had that. Not me, but somebody. I know somebody that's like that.
And?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that come up in conversation?
Well, she's someone who divulged a lot of personal information. And I was like, what? She told me she had her first orgasm at 5.
Yeah.
With a bath faucet.
Yeah, sometimes it happens early for them. Yeah,
and they're sitting on the cold floor. Every single thing you said was like, yeah, I know someone like that.
Yeah. And it's so different than what most women experience.
Yeah.
And by the way, so these women, I was talking to Kelsey Cook about this, who's sort of in between. She's sort of that version.
Yeah.
And they feel like other women just don't understand what they're doing. They haven't figured it out yet.
Oh.
Because it's so easy for them. How could it possibly?
Right.
You just haven't figured it out.
Right. But they're wired differently.
They're wired differently.
Right.
And the women that are more sort of in the majority.
Right.
Don't believe these women. You don't believe them.
Funny. I because I got that information at a young age, thought that's how it worked.
Oh, interesting. So you felt less than.
Completely completely did not know what I was doing.
Right.
Until,
that happens. Women compare themselves and consider themselves like broken or not measuring up. It's never. Wish you wouldn't do that to each other.
I know. I don't really do that, I don't think. But I was so young and the person was an authority figure.
Ooh, that's not good.
Came from the wrong place.
That's not good.
And so I thought that was the
standard.
It was supposed to be. It's a conversation of it should have been happening in the first place.
What year was that? Just out of curiosity, like what decade?
It's probably 78.
Yeah. So in the
70s,
70s, people were encouraged to speak to children that way.
Interesting.
It was the most insane decade of all time.
It might have been. For many reasons.
It gave Bert quicksand porn.
Yes, right.
But they're women and children are just little adults. You just talk to them. They're sexual beings. You just talk to them openly about this stuff. This was the bullshit that was going on then.
Yeah.
And there was even a worse thing that they were telling young males, which was, well, women and men are exactly the same. Oh. Exactly. And
that's terrible.
But this was the terrible part.
What?
If a woman doesn't want to kind of come along with you, your job is to help her along because she's uptight because society's making her that way. You need to help her because she wants exactly what you want. This was the shit they were telling teenagers.
She needed to be liberated.
Your job was to help release her inhibitions.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thank God we have Me Too.
And thank God I have found the reference.
Let's do it. Let's bring it out. Let's bring it.
Yep. Buckle up because this is quite a ride for you guys.
Right before you come, I'll swallow if I want to. I have no problem swallowing. I'd stop for a minute and I'd put a big hickey on your inner thigh there and just suck on that and make it nice and red and let you remember me after I'm gone.
Did he know he had cancer at that point or something? Or gone, I mean left the room?
Yeah.
So he ended up dying. This guy ends up dying.
He did.
I mean, he did die, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he put up all his stuff after he's gone. It's like, he'll live on.
But does he have grandkids? I mean, I think about these kids and people and go, well,
Ed Asner, he has grandkids.
That's not Ed Asner.
Yeah, it is.
But where's the May part?
Turn over and I would play with your cheeks, maybe even massage your little hole and make you feel just the only man in my life. You're just
Go to May. He's going after man.
Well, it's normal size. It's not that big. Well, the one thing that I'm going to tell you is that the first time it's going to be quick with me because it's been a long time.
Oh,
give it to me, Mark. Yeah, yeah.
Oh Lordy.
Oh, I can feel it.
Oh Lordy.
That's gonna be good. Oh, that's gonna be good. Oh.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Sorry, guys, still trying to find the clip where.
You bet I'm coming up in May.
You bet.
Oh my God!
You bet. Well, there's a couple things that stand up for me. Does he not have a giant midline scar down his abdomen? Is that what I'm seeing there?
I thought that was a happy trail, but I think you'd know better than that.
I can't tell. It looks like a giant midline scar. And for some reason, the watch has been completely... Why?
It's not the tan line?
It's the watch. Wearing the watch.
Is it a nice watch?
I don't know, but why, sir, why the watch? Why do we have to have that? I mean,
Maybe he's very timely.
Indeed. Well, we're seeing he comes timely.
Yep.
He comes
right on time.
Yeah, right on time. Woo! You better believe I'm coming up in May.
Oh, but you better believe it. Oh my God.
So there you go, LeeAnn. See, we need to bring you up to speed. See what goes on in your mom's house.
Totally.
You thought it was all
I missed that clip somehow.
I listened to the episode of Honeydew podcast I did a year ago, and I mentioned disconnected emotions can cause dissociative anxiety and usually manifest as social anxiety. I related to that since my parents are narcissists. Any tips on helping me see not everyone is a potential threat, physical? Oh boy. Therapy, my friend. I mean, look, you could answer this too.
Therapy,
yeah.
my friend. Therapy.
Yeah, if you know the residual of the narcissistic parents, and you're saying physical threat and there was physical abuse, you need to reform a connection with another human, and you won't do that unless a professional is finding their way into that connection. It just doesn't happen with all the defenses and stuff that you will have set up from what you've been through. And you want to do that, and connecting you to other people will connect you to yourself in a more meaningful way.
I agree with that.
So what I'm always telling my patients, like connect to self, connect to other, to connect to self. It's sort of a loop. If you can get connected to another person, it helps you connect to your own feelings about yourself.
Right. It's a good litmus too. If you find someone you really trust, you learn so much about yourself from.
Right. It is understand that where the self emerges, and frankly where consciousness emerges, is in us having an experience, seeing it reflected back by another. In other words, our consciousness and our sense of ourselves is really a second order experience of being around another person. Otherwise, we'd just be awash and stuff. How would we know what we're feeling?
Right.
Unless another person were there experiencing it, reflecting it back, talking with us. That's how we come to understand these things.
That makes perfect sense. So if the other person you're having experiences with is really unhealthy, then you become...
Don't talk about Bert that way. Come on now.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the poll? I think we did, right? Oh, I know what I want to talk about. You said that one of your kids is having a little depression with the COVID thing. And I thought that was an important thing to bring up, because I am furious with public health officials making decisions that is upending people's financial lives and profoundly affecting their mental health, especially 8 to 15-year-olds.
Yeah, this has been really hard. It was really hard from the beginning for one of our kids who's highly social. She actually... almost everything is motivated by her social network. And she was a big social butterfly in school. And
I mean, that's good for her. It's healthy.
Yeah, it is.
And that's all been taken away. And then she's supposed to be okay with it. And by the way, keep developing.
No.
You can't develop with peers. And
regressing when kids, I think, go through some kind of trauma or upset like this. And for this kid, this has been traumatic.
Yes.
It's been really,
she is
really
not alone.
traumatic.
This is super common. I'm hearing about it all the time.
I would imagine. What worries me most, and I hope it's just a worry, is that it hasn't permanently affected who she is.
Right. And this is the part I feel like you guys will look. I know you'll get help if indeed there's some evidence of anything, not moving along once things come back towards normal. But not everyone has access to that, or not everyone has the insight into that. And there's a whole, oh my God, so many tens of thousands, like a whole generation there that we don't have any idea what's going to happen to them from this.
I agree. I think as a parent now, almost more than ever, now you really especially have to pay attention to those little tiny signals, complete change in appetite, complete change in what she'll eat, not just how much she eats, but what she'll eat. Her grooming habits have totally gone out the window, and getting dressed doesn't really happen, and those are bigger. But even if just one of them shows up, I think it's something to pay attention to.
And by the way, kids, that age, in adolescence, they manifest everything that way, right? And no matter
Sure.
whether they're doing drugs or anxious or depressed, it all kind of goes the same way, which is change in habits, change in sleep, change in, you know, how they take care of themselves and stuff. And so I'm going to bet it's anxiety followed by depression, not depression
I
followed
would
by
agree.
anxiety.
She is freaked out about COVID.
How could they don't know how to contextualize this.
They
All they
don't.
know is their whole families and their world is being threatened.
That
and these assholes on TV are like, you have to.
Yes, that's right. It's just so much fear.
She needs to join the Rational Revolution.
Maybe.
Maybe she can be a founding member.
Maybe.
No, seriously, because that's why Christine and I were sort of the imagery we were creating around the Rational Revolution. And it was to be funny, but it was in response to essentially the same thing that's coming at us, which reminded us of the Soviet era stuff. You know, people pointing and telling you, and from what eye. And, oh my God, how destructive for a kid.
Yeah, it's really hot. It's really been hard to watch, hard to be a part of. We have made an adjustment in how she goes to school. Like, we're making her physically go to another building to go to school, and that has shifted a lot.
Good.
And she's sitting in a room with her sister.
Trying to find some form of normal is what's important for
some
this kid.
simple.
Right. I hear this from multiple mental health professionals. Like, they got to find a road to normal for these kids, and don't allow these idiots that are making public health decisions could cast them under. They're just right. They just don't seem to care.
I don't understand it either, quite frankly. I think that I am not a medical professional.
Rational Revolution. It's been the death of math. From the beginning, the fatality rate's been around 1%, right?
Yeah.
That means 99% of people get well.
Yeah, right.
Right? But somehow, because the press pumped out horrible images of people having real trouble, because it does happen.
Because it's legitimate, that 1%.
But that became, that's everybody.
Oh, yes.
Now, everyone knows somebody that's had no symptoms or mild symptoms.
Yes.
So the math is being experienced now.
Right.
And everyone's going, what the fuck? And instead, I'm going to have suicidal depression?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to lose my business? No.
Yeah.
Who are these assholes making these decisions?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Oh, my
and
God.
we as lay people can only rely on the experts. How in the world would I know what I'm supposed to do? So we're being fed information that may be completely one-sided.
Oh my God. I talked to somebody from the Alicante Board of Supervisors yesterday, and she said expert from SC and Caltech wanted to come together and form a panel and offer them some advice. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Don't listen to these idiots that are scared and don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, fear-mongers.
Let the clinicians and experts in virology, and let's just get some input, and then you guys make a decision.
Yes.
You'll be fine. You'll make a decision. Oh my God. Let's. I want to see some more TikTok. What do you want?
I got something good.
Wild card. Okay.
You got something good?
I got something good for you guys.
Uh-oh.
So as you know, one of our favorite people is
Garth
Brooks.
I see you got a little highlight on Garth up there. All right, here we go.
He has such a weird reaction to something that I've never seen an emotional response to.
Okay.
So let me know what you think.
Oh boy.
You got to try to understand that copyright is the coming together of creative, soul, all the things inside. So now let's take copyright, because it's not a leap. As a child,
What?
that child is born. Who's going to protect that child?
Wait.
There's copyright.
Copyright?
Protect it. So if there's one thing that I would beg and plead our government to do, copyright is a beautiful thing.
What is he talking about?
To protect that copyright.
You talking about trademarks?
Copyright is everything. Protection of that copyright is everything. Let's work together to preserve the arts, because a nation is not a nation without its culture, and its culture is a result of its copyright.
What is he talking about?
Why doesn't he talk to his friends in China that are ripping off all his music? Why we have a lot of copyright laws in this country. Why is he so concerned about this country? But let's just examine here. So pupils are mid-position. So I always worry there's a substance involved with him, but they're not blown, so no stimulant, and they're not pinpoints, so no opiates. So good, Garth, good on you. Doesn't mean alcohol couldn't be lurking around, but okay. I'm sort of struck by how flat his face is, like this expressionless.
Yeah.
And real flatness kind of goes along with some mental.
It does?
What is that? I can't understand.
I intentionally didn't say it out loud. Like there may be something going on.
People are
here.
strange.
Yeah.
When you're
but then he had expressions when he was talking about copyright.
They were super intense.
Yeah, he was rhapsody. It was rhapsodic about that. So I don't know. Maybe he's just a cool dude. You know, Nadav.
Couldn't agree more.
Christine's always asking me to diagnose Garth. I just think he's a cool guy.
I don't know. He kind of lost me at hello.
Yeah, I understand.
He kind of lost me.
Like, why are we interested? Is what you're asking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I understand he was one of the highest grossing performers of all time for many, many years, but yeah, I don't know. What, copyright? What does that have to do with children? I'm so confused.
He's just saying that, let me translate. This
Please.
Is why
Please.
I speak cool guy.
Okay, good, because I don't.
My creations are my children. In fact, my
is
children
that what
are,
he meant?
And in fact, my children are my children. They all should be copywritten. Right? Everything I create should be protected by the law.
So he's narcissistic. Okay.
And that is what creates a country and a culture. And I am a creator of life and culture, and it needs to be protected because I'm a genius.
He has the significance disease.
Nadav, did I get it? Pretty much.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah,
Joe.
I think I pretty much got it.
He believes himself to be quite significant.
And the fact that Tom Segura is so preoccupied with him, Tom gets weirdly preoccupied with narcissists, I think.
I wonder
Especially
why.
cool guy narcissist.
Why?
Because I think he doesn't get them. He finds them very curious. He was once in a while text me and like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's narcissist.
They are very curious, but they're not very fun to live with. They're not very fun to live with.
First of all, LeeAnn,
I'm not talking about Bert.
How dare you? Yeah, good.
I'm not talking about
okay,
Bert.
Good. Yeah, you're talking about your father.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No, my dad's a sweet,
true
sweet guy.
narcissists are really, really rough. Really,
they
rough
are
to
very.
live. Yeah.
I know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nadav, am I right that Tom likes the narcissist? You know, he's kind of.
Yeah.
He's always curious. It's like, what is up with this cool guy?
It's like weird, unjustified behavior. It's always, very interesting to.
No, well, that's for sure he likes, but he actually just likes straight up narcissists that are doing their thing.
Crazy.
He'd text me about Garth and President Trump and all the narcissists around the world. He'd go, what is with that guy?
Do you think there's part of Tom that aspires to that?
Well, as always, you got to be careful that things you're fascinated by are maybe a representation of something in yourself. I don't experience Tom as that.
No, I don't either.
Maybe sometimes we have sort of a dark side of ourselves. That's a piece of that, that we don't understand, and we get curious. See, I have my inner RPC, evidently.
What's RPC?
Robert Paul Champagne.
Oh, got it.
And Sissy Man. Apparently, I have a Sissy Man inside of me, too, because I'm very suddenly preoccupied with these people. Give me another video. Give me something good.
Again.
See, sorry,
I'm capable of that, evidently.
Yeah, let's. I'll give you. Here, you know what? Here is one that Tom loved.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be violent.
Oh boy.
Prepare yourself. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Is this a car wreck?
It's usually just somebody dying. In my
No.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
No.
Why did he? Because he liked it because the guy got back up. Wow.
But he's really wobbly.
Yeah, no kidding. Does he understand he's been hit by a car? I like they're like, get back.
So Tom loved this one.
Oh my God.
I knew he would love it. Yeah, that looks like something he would love.
But why? Why is he love it?
I find horror. I know Tom's delight is my horror.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
I like watching people fall.
Really?
That's my secret pleasure.
Wow,
I love to watch people like slip and falls.
Oh, okay, slip falls. So like funny, pratfalls.
Oh, here, so
but no, not
we
really
got a nice fall
pratfall.
for you.
Like,
okay, let's see what we got. Like falling off a crane.
When
or
I had to
something.
do training videos, we'd watch people fall, and it made me laugh.
Oh.
No, I don't like that. No, something fell on him. That's not the same as falling.
I misunderstood.
I hope that missed his head.
No, I don't like that. I like
that is a skull fracture.
something fell on him. I don't want something to fall on somebody.
Oh my God.
Like I've stepped in a puddle. Whoop 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 whoop. Like that.
This is how I came into this world at your mom's house. Watching people die or need surgery.
Hold on. I would like to clarify, because Tom would be upset if I didn't. That guy did survive with just scratches on him.
Which one?
No way.
Which one?
The
car?
No.
The pole?
The light post falling on the guy.
No way.
Just
that guy survived.
scratches.
Survived, yes, but we had concussion.
No, yeah, there was articles and stuff. Like, he's fine.
A scratch from his head to his asshole?
Like a real big scratch.
How about the guy that got upended by the vehicle?
He walked away.
Oh,
you saw
dude.
you saw him wobble.
He was in shock. Come on.
Show LeeAnn the guy. You may not have this handy, but the guy driving his little moped into the onto the vehicle, onto the transportation vehicle. And do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
It's one of the ones that stays with me.
No, well, I don't want to see something that stays with me.
There's two that stay with me. One is this guy driving his moped into essentially a wall.
Oh.
At least his head hit the wall and everything else kept going forward.
Oh, my God.
And the other one was a guy bringing a car. This is my first experience at your mom's house. Guy bringing a vehicle into a garage and the vehicle not stopping. You must have that one, Nadav. That's a classic.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Okay, I figured you have that one.
These are not slip and falls.
You may think it's funny. Tom was laughing hysterically at this. I just saw.
I'm afraid.
I saw what's called an ungloving procedure.
What is an ungloving?
Ungloving is when you get. Yes, when you get a crush. Here it is. He's bringing the guy in.
So this is Tom's favorite video
of all time. I've had to watch this several times. Come on in. Come on. Bring it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I see that, and he can't back up either, which is fantastic.
Oh my God.
So I see that. You're not standing on those legs. I see that as when you get the crush, the skin actually kind of pops off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
I don't need to think about that.
Crush injury. I feel so bad for this guy.
Oh, poor thing.
Oh my God.
So I think Tom's favorite part of this clip is coming up right now. It's this guy that's seeing what he hit. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he does not care that he just almost killed his coworker.
Or may have killed him. He's going to run. I'm going to run.
Now again,
I'm out of here.
Oh my
this
God.
is something that I'd like to clarify that this guy is alive and not dead.
That's what I heard. I did feel the first time you showed it to me, I did not know that, and I assumed he was no longer with us.
Right.
But I was led to believe he's doing fine. But he did not have what you call a good time. That was 1978, guys. Did you see
that? Was 1978?
Did you see it? Was it 90? Go back and let's see the timestamp. Now, who knows if it's accurate or not. Can you see it in that lower right-hand corner? Oh, it says 28.
20.
So 15. 215. Okay.
2015.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, pretty good video for 78.
Yeah.
It's probably right along with that porn Bert just stumbled on. Right?
Gilligan's Island. Yes, stumbled on. I don't think he got into porn. I think he was embarrassed to tell you. It was just straight up Gilligan's Island.
I don't think that's it either. I think it was hyperbole. It probably is porn now in his memory. But it really was just Gilligan's Island.
So it's a distorted memory.
Yeah.
Oh, could be. Because memories are, let me warn everybody, memories are highly distorted.
Yeah.
You're not watching a movie when you replay a memory. You're having things that are being reconstructed, and were reconstructed, by the way, in the moment very inaccurately, and then repeatedly reconstructed across time.
And for someone who's a natural storyteller,
he could turn it into anything.
It amps up into,
Please find out for me if I'm actually on. Like I want you to text me later today.
I will.
And tell me if Marianne in the mud pit was in fact.
Oh my God! I can't wait to ask him because that's brilliant.
And then we got to find the actual scene.
The scene, right, and watch him go. Oh my God! Like the big fat fellow that's coming in May. I'm coming in May.
With that, LeeAnn, where should we find you? Where should we look for you?
My podcast, Wife of the Party.
Wife of the Party, the cabin where you steal the show.
Well.
I swear to God, you're great in that.
Thank you. I was a reluctant participant.
You nailed it. I could not tell if it was real or acting or whatever, but I just I was interested every time he was talking to you. So
thank
those
you.
Were nice nodes in the film. Do watch The Cabin as well. It's
it is
very,
good.
Very
we're proud of it.
I'm gonna never forgive my friends if I don't get to go to the next cabin. So
don't worry. Believe me, you'll be invited.
I may just be called up there to help intervene on Cabin as well. So. We'll
but that
see.
would be filmed too.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll think of something. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Again, the Dr. After Dark at Gmail at 818-253-1693 for those voice messages, and we will see you next time.
All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.